Hey there, and thanks for tuning in. This is going to be your Chapter 15 test review. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We have about 16 questions to go over. So let's start with number 1. You're finding the volume of the cylinder. Remember, your volume formulas will be given to you on your test. So here's your volume formula, and you're just going to plug in what you know. So 3.14 is pi. The radius is 10, so make sure that you half the 20, and then the height is 6. We're going to multiply all those together, and we'll get 1,884 inches cubed. Okay. Number 2, again finding the volume of a cylinder. This one you're going to take the same exact formula. Volume is equal to pi times radius squared times height. So that's 3.14 times 2 squared times 3. That's going to give us 37.68, but the directions do say round to the nearest tenth. So we're going to say about 37.7 millimeters cubed. Okay. The next one is a cone, and remember, cones are a little bit different. The volume formula you get for that one looks like this: 1/3 pi times radius squared times height, or you can do pi times radius squared times height divided by 3, and that's the one we've been sticking with in class. So we're going to do pi, which is 3.14, radius is 6 squared, height is 7, all divided by 3. When you first multiply these numbers, we should get 791.28. And then we're dividing that by 3, we get 263.76. So we're going to say rounded about 263.8 inches cubed. Okay. Number 4, again the same way. Pi times radius squared times height divided by 3. So 3.14 times 6 squared, that's your radius, half that 12, times 4, all divided by 3. We're going to multiply these 3 first. That's going to give you 452.16, and then cut that into thirds. We get 150.72. So we'll say about rounded 150.7 millimeters cubed. Okay. Number 5 is your sphere. Again, your formula will look like this: 4/3 pi r cubed, and what we've been talking about in class is what we can probably do is take 4 multiplied by pi and cube the r and then divide by 3. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to say 4 times pi times 25 cubed, so 25 times 25 times 25, all divided by 3, is going to give you 65,416.66 repeating. So we're going to round that to the nearest tenth to be 65,416.7 centimeters cubed. And since we're rounding, we're using the about symbol. That's why. Number 6, again, using that same formula, 4 times pi times radius cubed, all divided by 3. So 4 times 3.14. And then remember to use your radius here. Your radius is going to be 3.4. So we're cubing 3.4. And then all divided by 3. Maybe I'll put the cube on the outside so you know it goes with all the 3.4. Multiplying these numbers, 4 times 3.14 times 3.4 times 3.4 times 3.4 divided by 3 gives us 164.55 repeating maybe. So we're going to round that to 164.6 feet cubed. Okay. Number 7, find the missing dimension of the solid. This is a cylinder, so we're going to use the volume formula for cylinders. Volume is equal to pi times radius squared times height, and fill in what we know. We know volume is 7,433. We know pi is 3.14. We don't know radius, so I'm going to say radius squared, but we do know the height is 14. Okay? First things we can do, maybe multiply 3.14 times 14 together. That's going to give us 43.96. So we'll have 43.96 times r squared is equal to 7,433. Then we can divide both these by 43.96. Those cancel out. So all we're left with is r squared is equal to 169. And we need to know just what r is by itself, so we're going to find the square root of both of these. That's going to cancel out the squared, which make just for r, which is what we wanted. So r is equal to 13, but it does say find diameter, and remember diameter is just double that, so diameter is equal to 26. Okay. For number 8, again doing the same thing here, except now we've got a cone. So your cone volume formula is the same as a cylinder, except you're dividing by 3 at the end. Okay. Filling in what we know volume is 79. We know pi is 3.14, and it does actually give us a radius in this one. It is 5, so 5 squared. What we don't know though is height, so we're just going to leave that alone. First thing I'm going to do is multiply by 3 on both sides to get rid of that divided by 3. So 79 times 3 is about 237. So 237 is equal to 3.14 times 5 squared times height. This 3.14 times 5 squared, or 3.14 times 25, gives us 78.5. And then last but not least, we're just going to divide both sides by 78.5. And we do get a decimal here. We get about 3.01. So since it says round to the nearest whole number, we're going to say height is about 3. Okay. We're going to go and flip the page and go ahead and talk about number 9. Find the radius of the sphere with a given volume. So this is a sphere. So remember, let's just plug in our formula. Volume is equal to 4 times pi times radius cubed, all divided by 3. The volume is telling us that it's 32 thirds pi, and we know 4 is 4. Pi is pi, but I'm actually going to leave pi as the symbol, and I'll show you the reason why in just a minute. We have r cubed, and then we have a divided by 3. Okay. One thing I notice, I can do times 3 to both sides. Divide by 3 and times 3's cancel out. Notice that this 3 is being divided by 32. It's technically saying 32 divided by 3. So when we do 3 times 3, those also cancel out as well. So all we're left with now is 32 pi is equal to 4 pi times radius cubed. Another thing we could get rid of is dividing this pi by this pi. So dividing by pi on both sides, those cancel out as well. So now we have 32 is equal to 4r cubed. And then we can get rid of the 4 by dividing the 4. So now we have r cubed is equal to 32 divided by 4, that's 8. And then all we're just trying to figure out is the cube root of 8. So that was going to give us 2. So my answer would be 2 for number 9. For number 10, you're finding the volume of the composite solid. Up here, this is a hemisphere. So you're still using the volume formula of a sphere. 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. But then you have to divide it one more time by 2 because it's half of a sphere. And then this one down here, that's your cone. Remember that one is pi times radius squared times height divided by 3. And that's a normal cone. Let's go ahead and try the hemisphere first. So we've got 4 times pi times r cubed, which is 2 cubed, divided by 3, and then divided by 2. That is going to give us about, I got a decimal here, so 16.746 for that one. If you got 32 something, you forgot to divide by 2. So remember to go back and divide by 2. For the cone, we are just going to plug in pi and 2 squared, which is my radius, and height, which is 4, and divide it all by 3. That's going to give us about, again, the same number, 16.746. And when we add those together, we're going to get 33.492 inches cubed. And it doesn't actually say to round this one, so you can just leave that one like that. If you did round it, 33.5 would be fine as well. Number 11, determine if the solids are similar. Describe or show the method used. Remember, similar figures are always going to be proportional. So if we can write a proportion here, and cross multiply and they're proportional, it would be a yes. So let's try it. 6 over 8 and 8 over 12. Cross multiply, I know 6 times 12 is 72. I'm going to write 17, and 8 times 8 is 64. These are not proportional. And then you can say because that. Whenever you have your proportion, you cross multiply, they don't equal the same thing. Okay? Number 12 are proportional. We're just going to use that proportion to find the missing side. So we're going to do h to 5 and 18 to 15. Okay? You can do one of two things here. You can cross multiply and solve it, but I already see a relationship between 5 and 15. I know that 5 times 3 is 15. So what times 3 would give me 18? That's going to be 6. Okay? If you did cross multiply, you did 5 times 18 is equal to 5 times h, and then divided both sides by 5. H is still going to be equal to 6. Alright? Here's number 13. This is what we learned in lesson 15.4. Remember, the surface area of A over the surface area of B is equal to A side over B side squared. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay? I'm going to say that this is A, and this one is B. So surface area of A is given to us, that's 112. We do not know the surface area of B. Side A is given to us, that's 8, and side B is given to us, and that's 10. We're going to square those two. So really, my proportion, I'm actually going to come up here, will still be 112 over x, but instead of 8 over 10, we're going to have 64 over 100, and then we can cross multiply and solve. 112 times 100 is 112 with 2 zeros on it, or 11,200. 64 times x would be 64x. Dividing both sides by 64, x is equal to 175 centimeters squared for that surface area of B. Okay. Number 14, kind of done the same way, except now we're talking about volume. So remember, the volume of A over the volume of B is equal to side A over side B, but this time we're cubing. Okay. So I'm going to say this little guy is B, and the larger one, little one is A, larger one is B. The volume of A is given to us, that's 756. Volume of B is not. Side A is given to us, which is 3. Side B is given to us, which is 7. We're going to cube both of these, so we'll have 756 over x is equal to 27 over 343. And then we can cross multiply. This is going to give me a big old number. 756 times 343 is 259,000. Sorry about that. 259,308. And then 27 times x is 27x. Dividing both sides by 27 is going to give us our volume answer of 9,604 cubic feet. Okay. Number 15 asks you to double the height of the cylinder, just the height, not the radius, and then figure out how many times greater it is. So first off, what I did is find the volume of just my normal cylinder. So that's pi times 13 squared times 19. Okay, I'm going to get 10,082.54. Over here, I did another one, except this time my height is doubled. So instead of 19, I'm going to change it to 38. So pi times 13 squared still times 38, and I'm going to get about 20,165.08. So this is going to be about 2 times greater. Okay, how I figured that out is I automatically saw that 10,000 was half of 20,000. You could also take 20,000 and divide it by the 10,082, and it's still going to give you about 2. Okay. The last one on our review, you're still trying to find the volume of this cylinder, except now you just have to convert it to gallons. So volume formula of cylinder, pi times radius squared times height, so 3.14 times 1 squared, because that says diameter, we need the radius, and then times height, which is 3. That's going to give us 9.42, and then and then we're going to multiply that 9.42 by the 7.5 gallon conversion, and we'll get about 70.65 here. So we're going to say that's roughly 71 gallons, because it says round your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, that's going to conclude our review for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and good luck on your Chapter 15 test.